Hello, everybody. You are now watching and listening to the number one Philippine-made product advocate live stream in the US. We want to teach everyone in the US how to source, ship, and sell Philippine-made products in the US. Now, this show is called Flexing Philippines, and it's brought to you by Emporium. It's a show about empowering, elevating, as well as educating Philippine made products and its potential in the US market. My name is Ferdinand Soriano, and I am your Philippine made product advocate, as well as your co founder of Emporium, as well as your host for this segment or this episode of Flexing Philippines. Now, our goal for the show is really to invite people. We invite entrepreneurs who have nurtured their love for Philippine made products, who, when you combine that with their entrepreneurial spirit, you've created someone who's contributing to the ecosystem of creating awareness and sales opportunities for Philippine made products in the US. My guest, I should say, my guest today, I met her, I would say, probably almost a year ago. And I met her at this event in the city of Cerritos. I think it was. Maybe she can correct me later, but I met her in Cerritos. What it was a really huge event in the city of Cerritos, and it was put on by the city of Cerritos, of course, with the help or collaboration of one of the major Filipino-American chambers in Southern California. And what they did was this whole event was called more like I think the title was the Philippine-U.S. Friendship Day. And it's a celebration of the two countries and the way they work together through the years. So with that being said, I was there invited by the Philippine Department of Trade as well as the Philippine Department of Tourism. I have to go ahead and acknowledge Richmond Jimenez of the tourism, as well as the Eric Elnar of the Department of Trade at that time. So, and then what was happening, what was so unique, was so really cool for me, was that our booth was right next to our guests. And so I observed how they were promoting their product. I first spoke to the husband, Andy, and got to know him. I can feel the vibe or the spirit of what they were trying to do. And then eventually, obviously, spoke to our guests. Now, both of them, we started to talk. And at the end of the day, we knew that we needed to work with each other and collaborate and figure out how to create this awareness more so, because promoting Philippine-made products is a big task. So with that being said, we started, and this is going to be our official working capacity. So before I go ahead and introduce you to her, let's go ahead and take a quick break. Our first segment is we're going to be kicking it off with what we call a spark. I want you all to discover her passion and what ignited that to promote or create and design Philippine handbags in the U.S. market. And I'm hoping that would also create some sort of a spark with some of you who are watching this now. Because if you're watching this, that means you're interested in Philippine-made products. You want to maybe create a business and learn how to do that. So without further delay, let me go ahead and take a quick break, and then I can go ahead and introduce our guest.
Libre remittance at mataas na exchange rate? With Bayani Pay, mas secure na, mas mura pa! Ang Bayani Pay ay bank-to-bank transfer na walang middleman, kaya mas maaasahan. Sa registration, kailangan lang mag-scan ng ID at mag-selfie para sure na ikaw talaga yan. At pag nag-connect ka na ng bank account, huwag kang mag-alala dahil di namin ini-store ang bank details mo. Sigurado na darating ang remittance mo dahil kumpleto ang information ng iyong recipient. Remit na with Bayani Pay!
And we are back. And for those who just tuned in, you're watching Flexing Philippines, where we're bringing to you people, entrepreneurs, people who love Philippine-made products, who will tell their stories on why they decided they want to go ahead and promote Philippine-made products and create a business. So my guest today, she has been in wholesale, retail, fashion business for such a long time. and you can't tell when you see her. But she's been in it for about 18 years. She's an importer and exporter of Philippine-made fashion bags and accessories. She has done a lot of trade shows throughout Asia, US, and Europe, showcasing Philippine-made products. So I'm excited to finally get this opportunity to talk to her candidly, and anything about Philippine-made products. Our first segment, in the first 15 minutes, we're going to be talking about her, what ignited her passion as far as Philippine-made products. So please, I want to go ahead and bring up and introduce to all of you. Her name is Reena Nepomuceno-Lucas of Tixxi and Company. Hi, Reena. Oh, well, let me see. I have to get you out of mute. There you go. Okay, Reena, can you hear me okay?
Yes, yes. Can
Perfect.
you hear me? Yeah.
I can hear you okay. We want to make sure that we do, because everything that's going to be coming out of your mouth today is going to be some sort of a golden nugget about anybody who's watching us now. I want you to visualize the people that are watching us are going to be people who want to promote Philippine-made products, create a business, and just be proud of Philippine-made products. So let's go ahead and give that to them today. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about you. And I sort of prepared some questions for you. And so the first question really is, what sparked the idea to start this business that you have? Why don't we go ahead and get that started for you?
Okay. First of all, I'd like to greet everybody in the Philippines. Magandang umaga or hapon. I'm not sure what time is it now. 11:30. So it's still umaga. So magandang umaga. And then here in the US, good evening. Here in Southern California, well, I guess all over. So yes, good evening. I'm Reena Lucas, and I've started this business of importing. Just importing and selling Philippine-made products. That was my goal. Is to help our kababayans to sell their crops here in the U.S. Well, I first started the business in 2005. That was a long time ago. I have I started with when I was in I have this small storefront in Pasong Tamo extension with my sister, and I was exporting U.S. products there. So first, we don't have the Philippine-made products then yet, and then a friend of ours introduced us to this Paeta guy. The people in Paeta, they're very good in carvings, right? So he is doing carved wooden bags. And he showed us this nice, beautiful bag made of wood. And as you can see, these are my our first products, the wooden bags. And I fell in love with it. I mean, the craftsmanship, the I would say the art of how to make these bags. I mean, they're really amazing. Firsthand, I saw how they made these bags, and I really fell in love with them. So we started with those. We started with the wood bags, and then eventually, probably later on, after couple of years, we started with the woven handbags. But with the wood bags, early on, we tried to import them slowly. Kasi, introducing wood bags in the US market is very, very hard. But we went to different shows. I was in the East Coast then. We were living in the East Coast, in Maryland. So I was doing shows in New York, the um, all those trade shows, big trade shows in New York, to introduce first the wood bags, which are, you know, getting into the niche or into the market then was really, really hard. Kasi, I mean, made of wood, people are used to having leather bags or, you know, um, canvas bags or things like that, or even beaded bags. But for me to introduce wood bags, it was finding the right market for it. So the first 2 years was really really hard for us. It was up and down, but I didn't give up. So we didn't give up. So we tried to sell them to different trade shows, like wholesaling. We don't want retail because we want to really capture the retail market in the US because it's really different when you go into direct selling than wholesaling. Um, I guess my or our goal then was to bring in more products from the Philippines. So it's we can't do direct selling doing that, bringing in more products. So we were we our goal really is to do wholesaling. Um, like you know, getting into the retail business is not part of our goal then. But 2005 to 2008 was, you know, 2008 when the U.S. market was really in trouble, right?
I remember
So
that. Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember
So
that.
it was a struggle for the first 3 years, and
Mhm.
then slowly, slowly we're picking up. We were able to get a lot of retailers all over the East Coast, and then we tried to market moving to the Midwest here in the US. And then I think it was in the year 2010 when we started incorporating or adding the hand woven products. I went to when I went home to the Philippines one time in I think it's between 2007 2009. I went to this store, what do you call this? Balikbayan handicrafts, what do you call that? Where
Okay.
they sell all this, And I saw these woven handbags and they're very, very beautiful. I mean, they're very well made. And, I said, I like them, I love them, so I want to add them. So I went to one of the fame events. I went and was able to connect with the different manufacturers in the Philippines. So that was the start. So we started to I started to design our own bags, and then we collaborate with other designers as well. And then we started doing and getting the woven handbags into our business.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
it's very very different kasi the wood bags are our high end kasi wood bags are expensive. And then
Mhm.
we have the woven bags which is our mid low to mid range pricing. So I
What
guess we have everything kasi that's the good thing about the business.
what I wanted to touch on, Rena, because what I wanted to for you to maybe expand a little bit is kasi yung sabi mo gusto mo yung you love you fell in love, right? And
Mm-hmm.
to me, I think to be successful in what you're doing, right? Anybody who wants to bring products from the Philippines, they have to fall in love to a certain degree because
Yes,
it's gonna
yes. You
be
have to
it
love what you're doing and you
yeah,
love what
right?
you're selling. Yes.
Exactly, because on
Mm-hmm.
our next segment, we're going to talk about those challenges. But I guess what I
Mm-hmm.
want to go back is I want people to feel that when you first decided you wanted to go ahead and export, ang gusto ko lang maybe embellish a little bit more about that feeling that you said, okay, I'm going to sell Philippine-made products because I believe in Philippine-made products, and you
Yes.
fell in love. So go ahead and kind of expand on that.
Yeah. I mean the Filipinos, or I would say I found out kasi na these people who weaved this these bags are just, women, uh, they're doing them in their own backyards. They're not even big factories, in the Philippines. So I said, how they're very, very, I would say artistic. Also, if I go to our factory in Paete for the wood bags, I really admire those men and women who can carve. They can carve all this uh piece of wood into a beautiful make it into a beautiful bag, and some of them are even hand painted.
Mhm.
The painters are really, really, I would say, like, they have this imagination. I can't even, say
Yeah.
kung saan nila kinukuha. But if
Yes.
I tell them this is my design, this is how I want it, to look like, and he can paint it,
Well,
without even the drawing or anything. So that's how good the Filipinos are. So I wanna get that uh beautiful art, and bring them to other people, like in the form of this fashion stuff, fashion bags.
well, because like I said, I'm focused on that feeling, your motivation, because I think we need to bring more attention to that. That's what makes Philippines unique because of the artisanal, the all the different health and wellness products, right? But at the end of the day, the creativity too. That's why I wanted to for you to sort of go back in time in your mind and describe that feeling when you first discovered it, because before we can get anybody or convinced to do that, like I said, fall in love with it, figure out why am I going to look at for Philippine products, who cares, I mean, what's the big
Mhm.
deal, right? So that's why I wanted to keep on talking about that before we end this segment, about what makes Philippine products, that people who are thinking of sourcing it, that's what they should do, and that's what's made you start your business. And by the way, we didn't mention why you call it. Is it Tixxi, right? Tixxi?
It's Tixi. It's my sister's pet. So we use her, kind of like pet name to start with, to start the name of the business. Well, the thing that brought me into this business talaga, I would say, is, and I'm proud of telling people about this, is the uniqueness of our products. It's very unique. It's so different from, all the products from other countries, like, you know, China is very good in making leather bags or whatever. But when it comes to handmade products, I mean, our products are very, very unique. I mean, you know, they're very beautiful. They're very, um, uh, it's, I would say, it's a form of art that
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
different from other countries, other people's, or I would say, products.
As people, I feel like the creativity. I mean, you can't duplicate. I mean, the creativity is what blows me away. Like you said, maybe some of them didn't get trained in in that craft, right? But they can just do it. And how do we bring that out? How do we get that to the people here in the U.S. to realize that that's what makes Philippine products? So that if you started a business that specifically or showcases Philippine-made products, that's what they're getting, and that's what you're going
Mhm.
to promote at the end of the day, and that's what you're doing, because I've seen your bags up close. They're amazing. So go ahead and let's end this segment with maybe a story that you think that it's funny, and the people who are thinking about starting a business with Philippine made products that you might want to share. I don't know. Do you have anything like
Mhm.
that you would go, yeah, when I first started this business, this happened, or I wish I didn't do that, but I think now looking back, I think it's funny.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I have, like, a couple of stories, but again, it's we can talk about that.
It's okay. I can edit it if it looks, if it's like rude or anything, right?
No, 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 man.
I'm
No,
just
it's not. It's not rude.
No, it's everybody's got a story. So if
Yeah.
you don't have a story you want to share, but it's up to you. But those
Mhm.
are the kind of things that I want people to relate to. That here you are, this successful entrepreneur who started this way, and everybody's gonna have the same thing. That's the reason why I just wanted them to relate to that they're
Mhm.
gonna start and fall in love with a Philippine made product. Okay.
Okay.
So, with that being said, let's go ahead and go take a quick break. I'm going to go ahead and go into our next segment. And in our next segment, basically, what we're going to do in the next segment is we're going to delve deeper into what we were saying about the heart of Philippine craftsmanship. Now, the bags that she's just going to show you, these aren't just bags. These are amazing. They're a work of art. Not only are they functional, but the way they're made,
Yes.
materials, are amazing. So she's going to talk a little bit about the fabric, the tales of the culture, and then more about the artistry, and then talk about the getting the falling in love with the product. So let me take a quick break, and I'll come right back. Okay.
Hi, my name is Ron, and this is Teofilo Coffee Company. Where we drink coffee black.
And we're back. If you just stay tuned or you're wondering what the heck you're watching, you are watching a show, a live stream, a Philippine-Made product advocate live stream. And what we're all about, the name of the show is Flexing Philippines. And I'm your host, Ferdinand Soriano. I'm not only a big Philippine-Made product advocate, but also the co-founder of Emporium and also your host for this episode of Flexing Philippines. And today I finally get to work with her, at least in this capacity, Reena Nepomuceno-Lucas of Tixxi Company. So now I get to talk to Reena now about her products, and she's going to tell stories about the design. We're going to delve more into that in the previous segment. We did do that. So now we're going to go ahead and, ask her to tell us a story about the products that she currently has. So take it away, Reena.
Yeah. Well, with us, kasi, especially for me, I like um, I like doing, or I like designing stuff using different materials, especially the hand-woven handbags that we have. I'm proud to say that these Philippine-made products are all sustainable. We're using sustainable materials, so they're all like eco-friendly. They're made of hand-woven. They're hand-woven palm leaves, banana fiber. Like um, I like to say na they are uh, well, as I said, eco-friendly products. So they're very sustainable. So, like for example, the wood products, we don't cut woods. Okay, we don't cut woods to make the handbags. So these are from fallen acacia woods. So I kept telling people every show I go to that we don't cut woods. It's bad. So we don't do that. So we use fallen acacia woods. So yes, to get to make the bags. Okay, these wooden bags, it takes 30 days to make them. So the hardship and all the labor that goes into making one hand, it's pretty amazing. So when I tell that story to my buyers, they're pretty amazed. I mean, they're they love that it's handmade. So but telling them that it takes 30 days to make one bag, I mean, it's pretty amazing. So the woven bags are made of palm leaves. We have uh, the buntal, and then we have the pandans, and then we have abaca. We have the banana fiber, which is we have the sabutan. We use that. And then later on, I went to Mindanao, and I love the tinalak material. Tinalak is made of like abaca. They're hand woven, and I went up the mountains to get those materials from the weavers themselves. So I went, firsthand in, like, literally go up the mountains, um, and and um, and look how and find out how they're making this, or how they're weaving this hinala. And I saw how they did it, and it's really very very hard. I mean, it's manually done, and I was so impressed with how these women make this fabric. It's a fabric of made of abaca, but the labor that they put into it, I mean, I mean, you'll be surprised on how these materials are made. And then, of course, I go to different regions in the country to find different materials. Like, we experimented on the fish skin. Imagine fish skin. So, like, balat ng isda. So, um, later on, I've known that there are only three kinds of fish that you can harvest the skin. Kasi you know how the fish are. They're very small. Very fish are, have wider body that you can, harvest and make bags. So we did that. So we I designed some purses like clutches. They're very small bags that are made of fish skin. And we have some snake skin again. People are, when I sell snake skin handbags, they're like, ew, like snake. Yeah, but they we don't snake skins are not, we don't kill snakes to get the skin. I mean, they're, the snake shred the skin, so we just harvest the shredded skin. So um so when people are, when they say, oh, snake, they're like, yuck, I don't want, they don't
Well,
even want to touch the bag.
well,
I said, "Oh,
this is what I mean, that we that's where the education comes in, because
yeah,
I would have said ew too. Honestly, I would have said, oh, snake, and then also
yeah,
the. But if they've never seen your bags, and we can show the bags if you want,
mhm,
it's beautiful. The way it was designed, and you wouldn't think of the snake. Okay, that's
yes,
overall when they see your bag, it's so almost like one of a kind. Like you said, the bags are it's meticulously made, right?
right. And
Yeah.
they're thinking, is this leather? I said, no, they're real snake skin. I mean, they're not leather. They're not, faux leather. They are real snake skin. And I show them so you can see how we make them. You can, you can't have a full bag wrapped in snake skin because they're very small. I mean, so I mean they you can't have so they you have to have a wider portion of the snake to make into handbags. So they're you can see the, what they call it, the cut,
Uh-huh.
where you put them together, so to connect them to make the bag. Yeah, they're like, you know I
And
tell them,
again,
even the fish skin, they're kind of like amazed, like fish skin. Yeah, I said, they're made of carp.
I know, right? They're probably, what kind of fish is that? I mean, does it
Yeah,
matter? But the
it's
point,
carp. We use the carp fish na skin kasi yun lang yung wide enough to make the handbag. We treat them. Yun nga ang ganda, is uh, the process of how you make them into this material. It's not, you have to treat them, especially importing them. Yun ang marami sa ating kababayan na manufacturers who doesn't know that, in the US we have four seasons. We have we have winter. So if your material is not, uh, what they call this, adaptable to the
adaptable, yes.
conditions here, the weather here, hindi tatagalin. Like aamagin siya. Like I've seen those materials na hindi siya treated. Yung magkakaroon siya ng mold, or later on it will break like the wood. They'd say na, oh, it's wood, like if later on, maybe after a couple of months or 3 months, it's gonna break, it's gonna crack. I said no, because these woods are treated, to adapt to the condition, to different weather conditions.
Well, at the end of the day, the one thing that I want to convey to the people watching us right now, or for whether it be live or later down the line, Rena, is that there are a lot of eco-friendly and sustainable products from the Philippines. I know you're just
Oh,
mentioning
yes.
yung mga fish skin, snake, and all
Mhm.
the different indigenous plants that are beautiful. They're all
Yes.
sustainable, eco-friendly. So I know that in the U.S. there is a lot of sort of curiosity, if at the least, about eco-friendly products and what you can do with all these different products and be responsible for for mother nature, right? It's
Mhm.
continuous. So, but with that being said, you've created a business that definitely is founded on uniqueness, sustainability, and really great designs. I think that's where I seen that. So now what I wanted to do is, do you mind if I go ahead and show your bags, the one that you showed me, and maybe you can describe some of these bags? Do you mind if I
Yeah.
do that?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay, let me go ahead and bring that up. Okay, and then you can describe it. All right, so why don't we go start with these two bags, right? The what you were seeing.
Okay, so the other one is the wood clutch, so that's hand carved. and you can see the natural wood from there. So it's just lacquered finish. So when I say lacquer finish, we use the the um the paint or the lacquer used for cars. So it's really what they call this shiny. That makes it shiny. So it's really uh very different from other wood products in the in the Philippines. So we have to make sure that when it comes to different countries, it's it will withstand the different weather conditions. So
Correct.
the other side is the other picture is
Red
the
one.
buntals. Those are
Bunta.
the buntals.
Okay.
They're made of palm leaves. Okay, yung ating ano nga ba yung
Wait a minute.
palmera?
You're telling me these are made from? Did you say palm leaves?
Yeah, they're palm leaves. They're
Got it.
buntal. Uh,
Mhm.
the palmer, like the uh, sa atin kasi marami yan eh. We have a lot of palm leaves in the Philippines, especially in the southern region.
Yes.
Yeah, so
If you've never seen
we
that up close, you're not going to believe those are palm leaves. Those are
yeah, they're hand
amazing.
woven palm leaves. So
Yeah.
we so it's just we dyed them into different colors,
Mhm.
and then they weave them in different patterns. So that's, and of course different shapes, and then we have them in bags, the handbags, and we have them in clutches.
I like
Um,
I like the next one, especially this one right here, the one with the flowers.
so
I'm not an
that
expert, but I love that.
Yeah, that is still it's also wood. The base of that is wood, and then we have them beaded. So those flowers are beads. They're hand beaded into the into what do you call this? Anong material? Abakayang material na yan. Eh. Parang alam mo yung what do you call this? Parang hindi naman siya pandan, pero it's a weaving then, and then we beaded the flowers into that and then attach it to the wood. So that's how it is. It's really beautiful. I mean, that's one of our best sellers.
Well, like I said, it's you can't really tell the workmanship because it doesn't do justice with the pictures that I'm showing. But
Yeah, but
on
it's
the
beautiful
well,
in person.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you look at it, even just the picture is beautiful just to look at. I mean, I'm sure that when you come close and touch it and carry whatever, it's probably even more amazing. So, what about the one
Mhm.
in how about the black one?
But the
What's
black one is as I was saying, that's tinalak. So tinalak is the material is the product of Mindanao. So that's from I got those directly from the weavers in South Cotabato. So they weave those, and they and it's there's a story behind it. Eh. Kaya I love telling stories about our bags kasi they have stories behind them. Like the tinalak, these designs, they come up with the designs based on the weaver's dream. So I call it weaver's dream. So it's kung ano yung napaginipan ng weaver, and then yun ang nagiging design nila doon sa bag, doon sa material, doon
well,
sa
there's a song
fabric.
called Dream Weavers. I don't know if you knew that, but anyway, there's a
Or
song.
re-
Yeah, we should
um,
play that when we're putting that. But before you continue, before we go to the next picture, I do want to acknowledge that I know that in Mindanao there was some flooding there just recently, and a lot
oh,
of people were displaced. And my heart goes out to everyone there. And
yeah,
hopefully everybody is trying to the government is doing whatever they can to help out the people from Mindanao. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's what I read. So again, I just want to acknowledge that and bring attention to that. And so if you have families in Mindanao, reach out, obviously. And yeah, again, these bags came from Mindanao, and I just
yeah,
wanted to
they're,
acknowledge.
they're, they're product of Mindanao, the fabric
Yes.
is.
Mhm.
And then we have the bag, and we have also clutches made of them. They only come in very few colors kasi nga these are dyed into different, I mean, with different colors now. I mean, very, very limited colors lang. And kung anong It's the exciting part about, I mean, or the weird part about the tinalak, ano. The I found out na the material or I would say, yeah, the thing that they use to iron the fabric, the abaka after they weaved it,
Hmm.
is a shell. Like the shell, like yung kabibe. So that's their iron. They use that to iron the fabric.
I know.
It's yeah, it's really amazing when you find out how they're making them. Okay,
Let-
these
let-
ones, the next picture, the colored ones are the sabutan. So there, I have two types of woven bags. So we have the buntal, which is the palm one, and then we have the sabutan, which is made of banana fiber. So this is yung um, you will see the difference of how they weave it. Kasi the buntals are woven finer than the sabutans. The sabutans, they're bigger weaving.
Mhm.
Um, but they're, they're both, you know,
Again, when I
beautiful
see
products.
the products, um, I get excited for its potential in the U.S. because in
Mm,
the U.S., whether I don't know if you feel the same way, but I noticed that in the U.S. they want things that are unique. Uh,
mhm.
there's a big movement about sustainability and eco-friendly,
Yes,
right? So
yes,
when I
they're
see
very, very particular about that.
yes, right. So I
Mhm,
just feel like there's gonna be people out there watching us right now. I want you to reach out
mhm.
to Rena, whether to
Yeah, yeah. If you
collaborate with
have,
her.
if you
Yeah.
have, no, if you have products that are unique, they're different, or something that you think, will sell here in the U.S. or anywhere in the world. I mean, let us know. I mean, we're happy to help you get it here. As I said, and then that's the other picture is the fish skin. You'll see that that's the fish skin. You'll see the texture of
What's
that
you see?
of
We're
the
gonna I'm gonna
clutches.
close out. I'm gonna close out the segment and go into
Mhm.
our next category. I mean, next segment again. But I wanted to end it by again let's put a big exclamation point of anybody out there looking to either not only because of these beautiful bags and maybe that's what you want to go ahead and do and maybe collaborate with Rena, but again this is just an example of the different types of products that are available in the Philippines. And if you're looking to if you're going to ask, well, what can I source in the Philippines, not only do you have to ask me of Emporium, but you can also ask now Rena, if you want to go into that.
Mm,
So
yeah.
I want you guys to reach out to her. So, but Rena, tell me, let's close off the segment by you telling me what really is that big exclamation point or that big sign that talks about Philippine and its creativity, and what would you say to anyone out there who is thinking about that, about Philippine products?
Well, I think Philippine products are really competitive to in the US market. So I would say, anything that's the beauty about our products, they're all handmade. I don't think we ever used, or maybe a little of the machines, but mostly made by hand, which makes it different from other products. And that's what makes it unique. There's no two bags or two items that are alike because they're done by hand. So no two items are alike. That's what I keep telling them. Na because they're made by hand, you can't make them exactly the same. So each is very unique.
Mm.
So I would say because of this, um, and our creativity, what Filipinos, like I would say the even when I was last in the Philippines last year, I went to Fame. I saw this beautiful um na they're all um I would say the designs are really different na I would say will I can sell to the US market. Because people are like, even the women, I would say mostly women here in the US are, tired of, using leather purses, or made in China na jewelries. Okay, I mean, because ours is, even our jewelries. I mean, even our jewelries, the pearls and the different stones that we're using for our jewelries. I mean, and the designs of our jewelries are different from the ones that you can see in the stores here. I
I'll,
mean, so
I'll be I'll be biased to that, and that's why in future episodes I want to bring somebody who's going to talk about a little bit about those products, Rena. But
yes, yes, I,
let-
I, I, I love those jewelries in the Philippines. I mean, the way they design them. I mean, definitely will. You can sell it here. You can compete with other, like the golds and the other silvers here. I mean, ours
why don't
is made of different material, but again, you know, it's an
why don't we
accessory.
why don't we we're going to stop there, but I want everybody to hold their thought there because we have just painted this amazing picture of what is available in the Philippines. You just described the artisanal creativities, right?
Mhm.
But now I want to go ahead and go back into the maybe the business side of it because at the end of the day, we're trying to create livelihoods. We're trying to create sales opportunities for all these different artisans. So now I want to go back to you. But before we go back to you, we're going to go into a quick break. But when we come back to you, let's talk a little bit about the challenges. Again, sort of rewind it back a little bit for you in promoting these products. Because at the end, I don't necessarily want to promote this idea that promoting Philippine made products is the easiest thing in the world. It has its challenges like everything in life. But you have stayed the course and you continue to create awareness and sales opportunities for a lot of people in the Philippines, Rena. So let me take a quick break and we'll get right back into that third
Mhm.
segment regarding challenges. Okay. So
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and quit a quick break and we'll be right back. All right, and we are back. For those who are just tuned in, my name is Ferdinand. I am the number one Philippine-made product advocate here in the U.S., as well as the co-founder of Emporium, and also your host for Flexing Philippines. So right now we're talking to Reena Nepomuceno-Lucas of Tixxi and Company, and so far we talked about the origins of her company, the products that she makes, and how beautiful they are. But I'm also a realist. I'm also, to a certain degree, now I want to talk about some of the challenges she might have had in promoting Philippine made products because as much as I am excited to do that, there are that side that we need to always address. And you have to know that that's what you might need, might encounter. So that's why in the beginning of the show, I said you have to love what you're doing. So in this segment, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how do you navigate the bumps on the road to this success. She's going to talk a little bit about her firsthand, her hurdles and leaps and leaped into these victories that she's had, okay, and to shape a thriving business. So now let's put it this way. She's got probably a lot of challenging stories, but also triumphant stories. So let's go ahead and have her tell those stories. So let me go ahead and bring back Reena Nepomuceno-Lucas of Tixxi and Company.
Okay. Well, 18 or so years in the business is not a joke, I mean, if I was not, or if I'm not successful in this business, matagal na ako nagsara. I could have stopped long time ago. There, as I said, the first 3 years of the business was really hard. I mean, it was a struggle to get into the niche or the market, of knowing where to sell your products, knowing where to market it, knowing to who will buy your products, who your customers are, and getting into that market. Those are the struggles that we had for, like, up until now. I would say, I would say mga siguro, I would say 70% of the market siguro that we know likes our products. We've captured them. So, doing before pandemic, there's a lot of trade shows. So retailers are going to trade shows to see firsthand or to see the actual product. They like that. So you'll find big buyers from all over the country, all over the world, going to the different trade shows. So you have to know which trade show to go to, and some of them are expensive shows. I've been in Europe. I've been to Italy to showcase again the bags, and but it was sponsored by of course, the U.S. Embassy here, and so it cost us very little. But going to those big shows are expensive. But when you get the good thing about that also is you get the big retailers, the big buyers, I would say, and and meeting those people from different countries. I mean, it's fun and exciting at the same time. Talking to different buyers, talking to different retailers from different countries, understanding their culture and what they need, and from there you would be able to think and be able to design your next product. So going through that, it's very hard. um Before pandemic, there's a lot of trade shows, but after pandemic, some of them or most of them have closed kasi most people are buying online. Kaya nga, what Ferdinand is doing now, Emporium, is really a good tool kasi everybody now is going online. Wala na yung no more, there's very few trade shows left. So for me kasi, since I import Philippine-made products, kilala na ako because I've been doing this since 2005. So all the Philippine embassies here know who I am. So when it comes to like mga festivals and mga fairs, they invite me kasi they know that I carry these products to sell to different um, people. That's direct selling. Ngayon I do more of that kasi nga the trade shows are getting, I would say, um closing na kasi more people are doing online na. The retailers are doing online, although some of them still like to see the actual product. So there's still a few big shows in Las Vegas and in New York that are doing trade shows, but especially the international market, they stop coming here now, or going into trade shows kasi they can do it online. So Emporium is gonna be a good tool to do that, to sell our products online. Kasi nga it's online na ngayon eh. If you think, everybody is in social media, so it's like it's different before. Before you really have to go to different festivals, to different events just to sell your products. Ngayon hindi, online na. So you can do both. And
I wanted to chime in on that, what you said, because you said something really also very thought-provoking, Rina. Yung sinasabi mong yung mga trade show, and because of the pandemic, totoo yun. To me, at the end of the day, ang problema ngayon, kasi ito ang challenges ng to promote Philippine products because nga nandito sa US market, it's a big market, pero ang problema is that the cost of trying to go to these trade shows and doing things like that. I think now is the time to fully utilize social media, but that factor you said na sabi mo, you still have to touch it, see it all, unless you can do all of that. So that's the reason why we're working on trying to create sort of like something above like a pop-up event, but a lower than a trade.
Correct. Kasi
like that.
right, our products kasi is different. It's not like, the leather products or the, other, the jewelries that are made of, gold. Na, how it is. That it's leather, right? It's
Yes,
gold, it's steel, it's stainless, right? But
correct.
with our products, because they're made of different materials, it's better that they touch it and they feel it and they see it, diba? So that's the beauty about showcasing also our products into direct markets. So maganda din yun. Yeah, I prefer that. I prefer that kasi I you know it doesn't do justice kasi yung picture lang.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still nice to actually see the
You're
product.
so the thing is the thing that's what sells the products too, and I think what's made you successful is because you know how to tell the story. You have an empathy for
Mhm.
the weavers, the artisans, to everyone who makes these products. Para bang alam mo magstorya ka. Kasi that's why I'm
Right.
saying that when you're selling products these days, you have to know how to tell the story. As much as products, I mean, the social media is great. You still have to be, to interact with people, and that's why to a certain
Yes.
degree,
You have to
create is still good.
understand. You have to
Yeah.
you have to know and understand your product. That hindi ka pwedeng just a seller, like,
Mhm.
yeah, give me your product, I'll sell it. I didn't even know how you came up with that product. So it's nice that you have the story behind it. That's what makes it, different, makes it unique. Kasi there's a story behind each and every product you have. So yun, and and being in different markets, in different type of markets kasi. Like, I've done shows na exclusive ng fashion and accessory. I've done shows ng home goods, like, different stuff, So you until you find the market, eh. So it's trial and error. So hindi siya pwedeng pagdating ng product dito, alam mo na kung saan mo siya ititindi. It's not
Correct.
like that. So you have to go through the process of going ng maraming beses na you'll have failure na, oh, hindi pala 'to mabenta dito sa lugar na 'to, or the people doesn't want this product here, or they don't like it here, in this area. So mga gano'n. And may mga like ito nakakatawa. I mean, I don't want, like, I mean, we're Filipinos, no? Like yung mga festivals, like where we met, may mga Philippine festivals, which I normally go to. Any festivals ng Philippine Embassy or Filipino group here, invited tayo. So, uh, Filipinos, when they come and see your products, they, of course, they say, oh, they're beautiful, ang ganda ng product natin. Yeah, but they refuse to buy. Why? Because they always tell you na, oh, pag-uwi ko ng Pilipinas, doon na lang ako bibili. Like, yung mga ganong salita na, you get, sometimes you get frustrated. Di ba? You get frustrated na, I'm trying to help these people, these our kababayans, to get their products here in the US. So, I mean, you have to help them, earn their living, di ba? So, kumbaga, hindi yun, eh. It's not like, yeah, pag-uwi ko na lang ng Pilipinas, doon ako bibili. And I tell them na, yeah, you can buy them in the Philippines, but they're different, eh. You can't find my products in the Philippines because they're different, We don't.
I I'm gonna hold on to that thought because remember we started this segment about challenges. So we'll end
Mhm.
it with that thought, ano, Rina, yung sinasabi mong challenge. I know that you have challenges a lot more, just like any business. I mean, let's move on with that thought. But I really want to maybe one more comment before we move on because I don't want to take too much of your time anymore. But
Mhm.
yung sinasabi mong yung suportahan ng community. I feel like there's with your products it crosses over to mainstream because they'll love your products. It doesn't have to be just with the Filipinos. But what I
Mhm.
want to say to the Filipino community is that yes, you have to look at that. I understand cost. I'm a big fan of cost. I'm a cheap skate myself or whatever, right? To a certain degree, I'm very frugal, or I'd like to think that I am. But at
Mhm.
the end of the day, when you buy Philippine products, you have to support it. You have to really support it because you're not only
Yes.
supporting that entrepeur.
Has to
But
start
yeah,
from us kasi, like,
Correct.
tangkilikin ang sariling atin, 'di ba? Parang gano'n. So that's my thing, eh. Like, you know, we have to start from within us. Yung tayo dapat,
Yeah.
support our products.
I'll even give you something better. Let's just say, okay, let's be realistic. Ayaw mong ibilin kasi either mahal or ayaw mo, pwede mo makuha sa ibang, whatever your reason
Mhm.
is. Ang gusto ko lang makita is I want that particular individual to at least promote it and say, these are amazing products. You need to go buy them. I mean, if you feel don't want to buy it, it's okay. But at the end of
Yeah.
the go beyond the okay, I can get it somewhere else kind of a mentality, but go and say, okay, well, let me promote it because they are beautiful, beautiful products. Di ba?
Kaya minsan, I'm thinking na why other people or other I would say countries appreciate our products, 'di ba?
Yes.
Why our very own kababayans, they don't. I said, bakit not? I mean, we should be the one to first, like ako, I fell in love with the product
Yes.
with our Philippine-made products, kaya nga I started
Mhm.
this business, eh.
Yep.
Aside from trying to help our kababayans to earn their living, bring the products here,
Hmm.
tulungan mo sila para, kasi this manufacturers in the Philippines, they're not like big factories, eh. They're not that, eh. Maliliit lang 'to na mga ilang babae lang, women's lang 'to, weaving and making them into these products. So
Well,
you're helping them earn their living, eh,
well,
na
that's what I'm
parang
trying. That's
food
what I'm
on their
trying.
table.
Well, that's what I'm trying. Well, that's what you and I are trying to do is paint this picture that
Mhm.
what you've done as an entrepreneur is you sort of organize yung mga lahat na yan. Yes. Okay, sabi ko na sa inyo, pumunta kayo sa Pilipinas, you can probably directly buy it or whatever you want to think you're doing. But
Mhm.
yung entrepreneur, yan ang ginagawa niya, how to market it, package it so that it's attractive. And when you buy, or even non-Filipinos buy, it's going to be, well received, as opposed to, para bang yung bad vibes, as they say. I hear on the social media like bad, just good vibes. Okay, at the end of the
Mhm.
day. But I understand everybody's bias or whatever you want to call it, Rena. But at the end of the day, too, what we're just trying to do, like yung ginagawa mo, paraging you're just trying to support, create livelihoods, do that in an organized manner. Yun ang ginagawa
Right.
natin. That's what
Mhm.
you've been doing. So anyway, let me go ahead and end this segment with that. I don't mean to cut you off because I think we're going past the hour already.
Yeah.
So before we go to the next segment, let me go ahead and take a quick break, and we're gonna get into sort of her parting comments about Philippine
Mhm.
entrepreneurs or people who want to bring in Philippine products. Okay, so in speaking of artisans, our next break here is from a company called Tumandok. So let me go ahead and show some of their products. Okay. Okay, and we're back. We are at the last segment of Flexing Philippines. And for those who just tuned in, you're watching a show where we're trying to elevate, empower, and educate people regarding, creating awareness and sales opportunities for Philippine-made products in the U.S., as well as just trying to teach people how to source, ship, and sell Philippine-made products in the U.S. I'm excited and I'm very honored to have Reena Nepomuceno-Lucas of Tixxi Company to be here to talk about how to do all of that. And I'm this last segment of the show of Flexing Philippines. I just want to talk about her advice, what she thinks we should do to create more awareness and sales opportunities for Philippine-made products. And by the way, if you haven't already subscribed, please, if you're watching it, go ahead, us right now, please go ahead and click the subscribe button. It helps us in supporting and creating our advocacy for Filipino-made products in the U.S. market. And also, if you have any thoughts about the show or anything about what you want to see in future episode, or anything about what we just did, please do it right now. If you have a company that you want to promote, I would love for you to go ahead and text it to me or put it in the chat box, and I'll show it on the screen. Thank you so much for watching. And so let's go ahead and end this segment by going ahead and having Reena tell us, give her some advice about people who want to export or bring in products from the Philippines. Okay,
Yeah.
Reena. So
Mhm.
we're going to go ahead and end the show with you giving nuggets of wisdom about trying to export or import products from the Philippines here into the U.S. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna encourage, anybody or everybody who think that they have product that they think can be imported here in the US. Kasi, I mean, you have to try. Importing here in the US, it's not difficult naman eh. It's easy. You know, like me, for example, I do everything by sea because, of course, I mean, you can see that my products are either heavy or bulky, so it has to be done by sea. So it takes a month to get the products here, but you have to go through customs. You have to pay, duties and taxes. But all of those I learned na you can pay as little as 3% to none duty and taxes when you import Philippine-made products because we're using sustainable materials. So you have to think about it. It's not like um, I would say there are items like if you're doing jewelries, like if you're using different kinds of stones, or as long as it's not what do you call that? What's the word for that? Yung rare na material, um, or instinct, yung extinct na material na. I mean, you have to you can import them easily. Um, and I know na, like, of course, except the golds and the silvers. I mean, they're different. Pero those that are made of wood or made of sustainable materials, they're easy to import. So, I would say, don't be frustrated, or I would say don't get anything na would turn you uh, turn your hopes down. It's hard to get your products here in the US. I mean, we can help you. I can help you. Um, you can email me, and I can help you get into your products into the market, and also um, importing products here. Um, you have to know you have to have the right shipping company, kasi there are shipping companies who doesn't know how to get the products here in the US eh. So you have to know that um may mga restrictions kasi, very very few restrictions naman, but there are restrictions also on getting our products here in the US. Pero when it comes to fashion and accessories, madali lang. Um, as I said, if you need anything, if you need help on doing that, I can help you. Also, don't be afraid siguro um, to get to, I would say, don't think na, ay, hindi ko mabibenta yung product ko sa US kasi masyadong mahal. Or, that's the thing eh. We have to stay competitive. You have to think that we have competitors, although our product is unique, as I've been telling everybody, it's unique, but we have to stay competitive. So, you have to think na kung ikaw ang bibili nung product na yun, kahit na napakaganda na niyan, kung wala ka pang pangalan sa market, do you think people will buy it? So ganun ang dapat mentality ng manufacturers eh. So you have to stay competitive as far as prices is concerned. So yun lang masasabi ko, kasi yun ang naging hurdle ko na malaki, is the pricing eh. So to stay competitive, especially with China-made products, yan ang number one competition natin dito sa US. So you have to make sure na your prices are competitive. Yun
Mhm.
ang pratik na sinasabi sa mga manufacturers is
We
can't sell it if it's too expensive. Kasi, kailangan kumita din naman yung magbebenta dito. Kailangan kumita din naman ako. And with expenses of, doing shows and going to these shows, I mean, it's pretty expensive. So for me to, recoup that cost, kailangan yung I mean, we have to think like, sabi nga nila yung Chinese thinking na maliit ang tubo pero maramihan. That's why
yes.
I venture into wholesaling. Kasi kahit maliit yung tubo, kung marami, it's okay. I mean, if I can sell like my biggest siguro is when I was able to sell to Smithsonian Institute. It's Smithsonian Institute, right? The one in DC. I
Mhm.
mean, they bought my purse to sell in their store in the museum, and then there's Paramount Studios. They put my bags in their store in Paramount Studios. I mean, it's kind of like, hey, this is Philippine-made products. You'll see made in the Philippines there, these big stores. So parang napakagaang napakasarap sa pakiramdam noon. So if you can,
Totally.
if I can do that, I mean, you can do that. I mean, you can, as long as you stay competitive. Yun lang ang siguro I would give as
I
an advice to
I think the mindset that you're probably hoping that people will take on is that you look at the bigger picture and you look at it as a journey, not necessarily because I think a lot of people are always looking for the quick buck, right? Para bang
yes,
magkakaagad.
yes,
And the
oo,
problema ay maraming
oo,
namamatay na businesses because they're looking at that way. Because importing,
oo.
exporting, so many different components in doing it. But I want to sort of end this segment by saying it like, leaving you with this message. What we're trying to build, and the reason why I love talking to people like Reena with experience in the business, is that we this whole movement is probably what's happening with Emporium, because like she said, she's going to teach you or give you advice on any sort of products that you want to bring in as far as the Philippine fashion accessory. But there's so many other products. That's why anybody out
Yes,
there who's looking to collaborate and has that collaboration mindset, let's all do that and show the Philippines that we have created a platform that will do that. Because you always wonder, like, how come Vietnam or some other countries that are doing well here. And one of the things, I'm not saying this is the only reason, but I think most of the time we as a community need to sort of support each other, going back to what we said about whether
mhm.
you buy the products or at least say that these products are amazing to other cultures, and sort of give that vibe so that people will consider our products, right, Rena?
Yes, and one thing I'm gonna share, no, kasi knowing the markets here, ngayon the in thing now are kapis products. So if anybody is watching or listening and making kapis, I mean that's the in thing now here. I mean, especially here in Southern California, or in California, is kapis products. So I might need some Capiz products if anybody is into
Oh, I
Capiz.
already got some Capiz products for you, lady. We're
Yes,
good.
yes, it's the in thing now. People are likes the different home
Very
products
cool.
made of Capiz, and I know we have in the Philippines. I've seen them. There's so much Capiz made products in the Philippines. I mean, they're really beautiful. The designs, they're So if you're interested, let me know. And also, uh, you were telling na there's also now Vietnam, India, na like as far as I'm concerned, my fashion and accessories market, they're coming in. The one made in Vietnam and the one made in India. I mean, I see them in stores now, and I was like, oh, I mean, why not? Why not
Exactly.
made in the Philippines? So that's the
Exactly.
one. Yeah, I try to go into the big stores. I try that. It's
Mhm.
difficult. There's some stories I heard from Filipinos who tried also going into the big retailers here in the US. It's difficult kasi they're very
You see,
They're very ano.
it's easy to it's easy to explain that, Rena. I mean, when you're
Mhm.
going to the big stores, of course, there's going to be a lot of people trying to go through that small doorway, and that's the reason why the component na sabi mo na padala yung mga produkto rito, small store here, small store there. That's what we're trying to just build because I
Mhm.
love your business model na wholesale ka because I think that's what we should do. That's what I promote. I don't really do the
Yeah.
retail so much, but
Yeah, oo,
at the end
mahirap
of
yung
the
direct
day,
selling.
yeah,
Right.
but at the end of the day, there are people who are good at that. And,
Mhm.
that's my point. If you're a manufacturer, you want to go different categories of you want to go after the big boys, so to speak, the middle, and
Yeah,
the
and
smaller ones.
there's more cost in doing direct selling than wholesaling. That's
Hmm.
the big difference. Direct selling kasi it's more costly because you need more. There's more expenses eh,
Correct.
than the wholesaling eh. So plus wholesaling, uh, makasampung buyers ka lang and they order, a lot, you're set. It's not like direct selling, sampu lang ang buyers mo. I mean, you can't even recoup your cost. So, iba eh. So, direct selling is, wholesaling is really the way to go to.
That definitely is the best. Okay. With that
Mhm.
being said, we went over our time already, but I just want to take this time now to really thank you in public and say thank you to you, Rina. Kasi alam ko marami pa tayong gustong sabihin, and
Yeah.
I can sense that in you. And I probably do a 2 hour show or something, and we can do like we can do a
Anything,
show called
anything
Ask
to
Rina about importing, exporting, right?
yeah,
At the end.
anything to help. I'm here. I'm here.
So
Mhm.
I hope that we continue to work with each other, and that's why
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of brands in the Philippines right now, and I think we were trying to do that, but because of schedules and things of that nature, we weren't able to connect in regards to some of the Philippine brands that I'm working with in the Philippines. But all those out there, she said that to you, Capis and wholesale. Those are advice. So reach out to us, reach out to Emporium, because if you want to speak to
Mhm.
Rena, again, my goal with Rena is to continuously collaborate because promoting Philippine products is not easy. But what I'm really trying to do is that everybody has done it. She even said so herself. But if we can just come together as a group and we continue to promote this in a more organized way, I think a lot more grounds can be covered because she just said it herself. It's hard to go to the stores to do all of that, right? And
Yeah.
that's what you need. Those are the daily grind that you have to do to get a product into a store. So Rena, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. I'm gonna cry because I finally get to do this with you. Para bang something that I wanted to do, but we keep missing each other. So thank
Yeah.
you. And I hope you're gonna come back, right? You're gonna do another one,
Oh,
maybe
yeah,
show.
yeah, yeah, sure. Anytime. Anytime to help.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'm here.
what I want to do is like for example, see Jay. There's a comment, Jay Leno. I'm hoping that he can be on our next show. He just put something here. Him and his wife do something in the food industry. I think the wife more so.
Mm.
Anything. And then also Teresa, she told me to go ahead and check out Ruyag and Mr. Handstone Leathercraft. Some of their products are in Emporium. I was going to tell you about that later, but I figured I want to know more about your products,
Mm.
Rena. But anyway, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to
Yeah.
go and say bye to you, and then we're going to do another show next time. Okay?
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for inviting me.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you, Rena. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon. All right, everybody, that pretty much wraps up our show. And I'm excited that this is the first show, not first show for me, but this is under this this title called Flexing Philippines. For all those who don't know what flexing means, it's basically, I guess, a slang, if you want to call it that, of showcasing or showing off or being proud of whatever you want to call it about Philippines. And I'm always a big fan of play on words. That's why I call it Flexing Philippines. So at the end of the day, my concern is that I continue to grow this movement, this advocacy, and teach people how to source, ship, and sell Philippine-made products in the U.S. market. Everything that she says, I've so have analyzed it to death, and how we can go ahead and how do we not only concern ourselves about cost efficiency, how do you collaborate, how do you market the product, everything, all of that costs money. So what Emporium is always doing is how do we do it slowly, step by step, Reena is amazing because she just said, I'm doing it. And so she did this wholesale in the beginning, right? Like she told you. So what I'm trying to also it, what do you call it, infringe upon, or rather put upon everybody listening, is that take baby steps. Everybody take baby steps in trying to do exporting. But you have people here in the US who understands how to do that already, like Reena and Emporium. So hopefully you reach out and let us know how we can help. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and say bye at this point and play the little cool music that we have and say goodbye to all of you. Okay? So I'm going to do a little dance. Okay. Good. So that's it. Thank you so much, guys. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.